Okay, be honest. Have you ever shared a really simple everyday frustration with someone only to have them totally twist your words into some massive philosophical debate? It is so incredibly frustrating, right? You say one tiny thing about your day and suddenly, bam, you are defending a global viewpoint you never even held in the first place. Well, welcome to This Explainer. Today we're going to unpack exactly why this communication breakdown happens so often, why it is honestly so damaging, and most importantly, how to stop it.
Let's just drop straight into a highly relatable everyday scenario. Picture this, you're venting to a friend or a coworker. You just casually say, "Man, I bought this cheap product and the quality was absolutely terrible. It didn't last long at all." That's it. You're just sharing a factual, highly specific experience you had with one single item you bought. You aren't trying to write a textbook on global economics here. You are literally just annoyed that your new gadget broke.
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive, honestly kind of absurd disconnect that happens next. You said, "My cheap product broke," but what the other person heard and immediately reacted to was a universal attack on affordability itself. They instantly fire back with something like, "Well, hold on, not all cheap products are bad. There are plenty of good deals out there." And just like that, the conversation is completely derailed. You're suddenly on the defensive, forced to argue about this giant, sweeping claim that you literally never actually made.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap to stop these frustrating arguments. First, the generalization trap. Second, the 5 levels of a claim. Third, the hidden value of warnings. And finally, a better way to listen.
So let's jump straight into section 1, the generalization trap, a communication failure.
Notice this wild concept of the universal straw man. When someone shares a negative experience, listeners have this strange, almost automatic habit of instantly inflating it into a 100% of the time rule. They artificially create this giant universal proposition for the sole purpose of attacking it, and in doing so, they completely ignore the basic facts of the original story. It's a massive communication failure because you just end up valiantly arguing against an imaginary point that the speaker never even intended to make. Moving right along to section 2, 5 levels of a claim, step-by-step escalation.
Let's move to and see how this builds, right? How a simple claim actually climbs a ladder. Step 1 is a specific experience. The product I bought had a problem. Step 2 is personal judgment. I should probably be careful with similar products. Step 3 is a probabilistic inference. It's likely that similar conditions might cause similar issues. Step 4 becomes a generalization. Cheap products usually have bad quality. And finally, way up at the top, step 5 is the universal proposition: all cheap products are absolutely garbage. So here is the absolute dissonance between the speaker and the listener. These 5 steps are not the same thing. If someone speaks to you at step 1, just sharing their specific real-world lived experience, but you jump straight to step 5 to refute them with a sweeping statement, you have entirely misunderstood their claim. Seriously, refuting a universal proposition at step 5 does absolutely nothing to invalidate the very real fact that their specific product broke at step 1.
Which brings us to the real stakes here in section 3, the hidden value of warnings. Why share negativity? We really need to rethink what complaining actually is, because a lot of the time sharing a negative experience is actually preventative information. Think about it. It is essentially a generous act meant to stop themselves or to stop you from repeating the exact same mistake or facing the exact same danger. They are basically handing you free data about a potential hazard. Let's anchor this in a workplace reality. Imagine a coworker coming up to your desk and saying, "Hey, I had this major issue with this task today, so you should be really careful with this specific part next time," right? They aren't trying to write a universal law of physics about how the company operates. They are simply giving you a friendly heads up. They're trying to protect you from falling into the same trap they just did. And this highlights the real steep costs of overgeneralizing. If you immediately argue with that coworker and say, "Well, actually, that task isn't always hard," look at the damage you've just done. First, you invalidate their true lived experience. Second, you create this completely unnecessary interpersonal burden. You just picked a fight with someone who is literally trying to do you a favor. And third, you completely destroy your own chance to use valuable risk data. Listen, just because exceptions exist doesn't mean the risk signals should be ignored. If you are always just looking for an argument, you lose out on data that could have genuinely protected you.
So how do we fix this? Let's jump into section 4, a better way to listen, actionable solutions. So, the crucial point is how you respond in that exact moment. I want to give you this exact conversational script to use as a tool. The next time someone shares a negative experience, try saying this. You're not saying in all cases right. You just experienced this specifically and want to be careful. I'm telling you, this response works like magic. It clarifies their intent completely without sparking a defensive debate. It totally validates their reality while firmly establishing the boundaries of what they are actually claiming.
You can use this internal 5-step rational framework as the ultimate antidote for extracting information without arguing. Step 1. Ask yourself, what did they actually say? Just stick to the facts. Step 2. Is this a factual experience, or are they making a broader generalization? Step 3. If it is a generalization, what's its actual scope? Step 4. What does this mean to me and my specific situation? And finally, Step 5. Use it or ignore it. If the information is factual and helpful, use it to protect yourself. If it's not, just quietly ignore it. You literally do not have to debate it.
And that perfectly summarizes our core philosophy for this explainer. A good, productive conversation is not about winning a debate. It's not about playing lawyer and finding the one logical loophole in your friend's frustrating story. It is entirely about accurately grasping the scope of the information being presented so that you can make better decisions. Logic and empathy actually work best together. You can totally validate someone's specific pain without automatically accepting it as a universal law of nature.
As we close out, I want to leave you with a provocative thought to carry into your day. The very next time someone comes to you venting about a bad experience, just take a brief pause before you open your mouth. Ask yourself, are you trying to win an argument, or are you trying to understand the warning? If you can change your default reaction from defense to curiosity, you won't just save your relationships, you might just save yourself from making the exact same mistake they did.